Well, I'm Mrs. Royce.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess.
Screw off, shithead!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
This isn't fair! He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car!
Welcome to the Kill Tally, where we count all the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm Tyler D. Boucher, and today we're looking at Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, released in 1960. Psycho follows a lady named Marion Crane on the run after stealing some money, but then she takes a stop at a dead end to rest and take a shower at the Bates Motel. Some may say that Psycho was the start to modern horror movies that we see today, and I totally agree. So how many kills does this film-changing movie rack up? Well, let's go see at the kills. The movie begins at a hotel where we see the main characters Sam Loomis and Marion Crane, played by Janet Leigh and John Gavin. Fun fact, John Gavin died the day before my birthday, so yeah, that was a fun start to my birthday. While we're at the hotel, we get information that Sam is still paying his ex-wife money, and that is why Marion and him cannot get married at the time. He also says she can lick the stamps to send her the money, and she likes that idea.
You can lick the stamps.
I'll lick the stamps.
I would too, because if it tastes anything like licking envelopes, then it must taste good.
Licking envelopes can be fun.
So Marion goes back to the office where she works, and we get to spot that Hitchcock. Shortly after, Marion's boss walks in with one of their clients who is buying a house for his daughter's wedding present. Jeez, if that's all it took to get a house, then there won't be any single people out there. The guy that they are dealing with is paying in cash $40,000. But Marion's boss does not want the money there, so he tells her to go to the bank and then she could take the rest of the day off because she has a headache. After that, we see her at home packing her bags, and that she did not take the money to the bank, like she said she would. After fleeting with the money, she sees her boss, then drives off, and falls asleep on the side of the road. Later, she is woken up by a police officer, and after that short break, she is back on the road, but she sees that he is following her. Cue Psycho music. So Marion trades in her car to fool him, even though he saw her trade it in and probably remembers what it looks like. After another full day of driving to get to Sam, she is a little sleepy again, and that's when we get to see the Bates Motel. I love the Bates Motel and the house. It's amazing. After honking her car horn, the motel manager finally gets out of his house and runs down to her in the rain. The manager gets her bags and puts her in room 1.
Thank you, Mr. Bates.
Norman Bates.
Norman offers her some food and she agrees, then he heads upstairs to set it up. As Marion is getting ready for dinner, she hears Norman arguing very loudly with his mother. Even though I don't think she'd be able to hear them from up there. Norman comes down with a tray of food and says it's better if they eat in the office parlor. Then he rudely says that she eats like a bird.
You eat like a bird.
And he only saw her take one bite. When my dad says I eat like a bird, I'm a little proud because it reminds me of Psycho. While they're eating, Norman complains about his mother, and Marion suggests to put her somewhere.
You mean an institution? A madhouse?
What? No, Norman. Probably just a senior citizen's home. Or something like that, not an institution. As Marion goes to her room, we see Norman take down a picture from the wall and look through a tiny hole in the wall to see Marion undress and get ready to take a shower. After Marion does some math to figure out how much money she needs to pay back for the car, she rips it up and flushes it down the toilet. Fun fact, that was the first time a toilet flushed in film. So she jumps into the shower and then turns on the water. But Marion fails to notice that behind her Miss Bates is coming. Then Miss Bates starts going crazy by stabbing her and pours chocolate syrup on her. Then we go down the shower and back up to see Marion's lifeless eyes. You can see her move a little bit, but I couldn't even keep my eyes open that long, so I respect her. Norman then sees that his mother has chocolate syrup on her, and then runs down to Marion's room to find her dead. So like a good son, Norman cleans up the crime scene and gets rid of the car and the body by sinking the car in a swamp. Marion's sister then comes to the shop that Sam works at and thinks that Marion ran away because she wouldn't answer the phone. Then a private detective comes into the party as well and says that he is working for the company that Marion worked at and he is also looking for her. He asks questions to see if Marion has been there, then leaves after Norman says he cannot go to the house and ask his mother some questions. Arbogast then stops at a telephone stand to call Lila, Mary's sister, to let her know that Mary stayed at the Bates Motel. Then he heads back to the motel to go question Miss Bates without Norman knowing. As Arbogast is walking up the stairs calling for Miss Bates, she comes with a butcher knife as she slices at his face, which makes him fall down the stairs. Then she comes to follow him and starts stabbing him again. After waiting for a while, and after Sam went to the motel looking for Arbogast, they decide to go to the sheriff and ask questions about Miss Bates. Then after Lila tells the sheriff about the mother, He tells her that Miss Bates has been dead for 10 years.
Norman Bates's mother has been dead and buried in Green Lawn Cemetery for the past 10 years.
That must mean Miss Bates faked her death for some reason. Norman then takes Miss Bates down to the fruit cellar to hide her, but only for a few days.
Just for a few days. In that dark, dank fruit cellar, no!
So Lila and Sam go to the motel and get a room. Then after checking in, they go to room 1 to search in it. All they find is a scrap of paper left by Marion next to the toilet. Sam says that he will go distract Norman while she goes up to the house. Norman figures out Lila's going up to the house, so he hits Sam on the head with something. So Lila goes into the fruit cellar and finds Mrs. Bates. But when she turns the rocking chair around, she finds a skeleton. Norman, you said she only had to be in the fruit cellar for a couple days. It looks like you left her in there for 10 years. So yes, Miss Bates has actually been dead for 10 years, and Norman has been doing all the killing. But we get to see that when he comes into the basement with a giant knife ready to kill Lila. But Sam comes in to save the day and he grabs Norman. Now, I loved Psycho a lot, and I think it's a great film, but this part just really gets me. Norman is just lip screaming, and there are no real screams, so it just looks really funny. After a therapist tells everyone what is going on with Norman, a guard walks in, asking if he could give him a blanket. Then we get the best monologue of the film.
Oh, they know I can't even move a finger. Just in case they do suspect me. I'm not even gonna swat that fly. I hope they are watching. And they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Wasn't that movie Psycho? Let's get through all the mommy issues and get straight to the numbers.
Mrs. Bates.
Two people died in Psycho, one man and one woman, giving us a half blueberry and half cherry pie. With a runtime of 108 minutes, that comes out to a kill on average every 54 minutes. Bryce Butcher Knife Award for Coolest Kill goes to Marion, obviously. It's one of the most iconic deaths in cinema ever. Ask anyone over 25 if they heard of that scene, and I guarantee that they say they'll recognize it. Slippery Ice pick for lamest kill will go to Arbogast. We barely knew the character, so it wasn't sad to see him get killed, and the effect where he falls down the stairs is outdated. Next week on the Kill Tally, I'm going to be covering Psycho 2, released in 1983, 23 years after this Psycho. Will it hold up? No, it will not. The movies just get worse and worse in the series. So enjoy this one because this is the only good one. Anywho, I'm Tyler D. Boucher, and this has been the Kill Tally. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If Dead Meat is watching, thanks so much. I'd also like to take a couple moments to point out my prop section. This is a paper mache mask that we used in our haunted house garage. It's a long story. Be great people.